Hey YouTube, what's up? This is Scott from Stout Sportsmen, and I have my part 2 of my equipment video here, and this is all about my rods and reels. So I'm just going to go through, I'm on the boat right now, I'm going to go through my rod locker and pull out all the stuff that I normally have on the boat. I do have a few more rods in the garage that are, I don't always carry them around because you know, I do a little bit of different fishing, walleye, bass, different things. So some rods I just don't carry all the time. And so I'm just going to go through what I normally have in the boat and show you what I got. All right, this first one, this is actually one I honestly, after just telling you what I normally carry in the boat, this is one I don't normally carry in the boat all the time. I use this more for walleye fishing. This is a Ugly Stick Light, and it's a medium action 7-foot rod, 2-piece. And I usually use this for walleye fishing, or if I have somebody coming in the boat that that I know doesn't have a lot of rods, I normally will bring an extra rod or two just in case. So this has a Shimano 2500 Sienna reel, and I'm not really sure what's on this. I think it might be a mixture of, looks like some mono with a fluorocarbon leader, but I'm gonna reline this anyways. So this is the first rod, 6-foot Shakespeare Ugly Stick, or 7-foot. And these are in no particular order, but next I have this is my drop shot rod. This is a Abu Garcia Vigilante. It is a 6.6 medium light, and I use it for drop shot. It has braid to a fluorocarbon leader, and it has a Daiwa Sweepfire 1500 reel. And these are very cheap reels, but you know what? For the price, I love how it works. Does very good. It's a real good pull for me. I've caught a lot of fish, but yeah, this is my drop shot rig. I use braid. There's less stretch. You can set the hook a little bit better. Keep that fluorocarbon leader for the invisibility factor. Next, and this is another spinning rod, the last spinning rod I carry. This is also a Shimano rod. It is a 6.6 medium fast action rod with this is the Daiwa Crossfire reel. And this is what I use for either like tube jigs or shaky head. Again, it's another fast action roll light rod. Helps me feel those bites. This is just straight, I think this has fluorocarbon on it, and works really good. One thing awesome about these Crossfires is it has a collapsible handle. So you just push this little button and you can collapse the handle down. It fits a little bit better. The best part about this is for in the rod storage, you collapse the handle down, it doesn't stick out, it fits a lot easier. Alright, on to the bait casting rods. This is a rod that Matt actually got me for my birthday, and it's the Mach 2 Speed Stick with the Mach 2 Speed Spool Reel. It's a 7.5-to-1 gear ratio. Got the nice handles on it, little rubber grips. This is my pitching and flipping rod. Does really well for Texas rigs. And this is what I usually have on it, Texas rigs or a jig. And this is a 7-foot medium heavy rod with a fast taper. And I've caught a lot of fish on this. I really love it for Texas rigs, like I said. And it's being 7.5-to-1. I can get a good reel on it. Has a fast retrieve on it. Does great. Alright, the next rod I have is a Berkley Cherrywood HD. This is a 7-foot medium heavy rod, and it's pretty fast action. I'd say it's probably more, with a little bit more of a stiff rod, more stiff rod than than some of my other ones. But this has a Daiwa Laguna reel on it. I'm not really sure what the, let's see if I can find it here. Yeah, I don't know, I don't see it. But I'm not really sure what the gear ratio is. I think it's running around a 6.5 to 7. But this is what I use mainly for my swim baits. I don't fish a lot of swim baits, but so that's why this isn't really a great rod. But for the price, it's nice to have in the boat to throw when I throw my swim baits. It's comes in handy. This I have braid on it, probably like a 10-pound braid. I think it is pretty light. To a fluorocarbon leader. I think Matt and I both agree that our braid to fluorocarbon is probably the best thing. Braid lasts a lot longer than fluorocarbon does, but also that fluorocarbon leader gives you that invisibility factor. But it also makes your fluorocarbon last a lot longer. You save a lot of money in the long run. You only need like a 10-foot, 12-foot leader. Even that sometimes is a little much, but in this way you can just change out that leader, and you don't have to swap a ton of line to change it. All right, next up I have my topwater rod. And this has a Speed Spool American Hero Lose reel, 7:1:1. It's a pretty quick reel. And it's on a rod. And this rod actually has a little story to it. Fishing Lake Chickamauga. Matt and I actually found this in the lake. It is a heavy action rod, 7'6". It's the Hercules series. It's 98% graphite. It's very stiff. And I use this basically for topwater. If you've seen a lot of our videos, you know this little guy catches fish for me. I've had really good luck on these. But that's my topwater rod. Alright, next I have, it's actually a no-name rod I found at Cabela's. They have their bargain cave, and if you've never been to Cabela's, they have this section in their store called the bargain cave, and they keep all of their like discounted stuff in there. Well, this rod was in there, and there's nothing wrong with the rod, just not a name brand at all. There's no name on it. But this is a 7-foot medium action rod, and I use this for my jerkbaits. Started fishing jerkbaits this summer a little bit, and I've had pretty good luck on it. But this has a Cast King Assassin. It's a 6:3:1, and if you haven't used Cast King, Matt just did a video on the Speed Demon, which is a real sweet reel. I may eventually get one of those, but right now I'm gonna hold off for a little bit. I have a couple other reels that I'm looking at, maybe possibly buying soon. But this is a really good reel. I'm very happy with the Cast King reels, and it just does the job. I mean, it's a no-name rod. It doesn't have a name on it at all, but it was a good pickup for, I think it was only like 10 or 20 bucks. I picked this up. So Matt and I do a lot with seeing stuff on sale and discounted stuff, and we make it work. Okay, next we have my deeper crankbait rod. I have two crankbait rods. One I usually just throw lipless crankbaits on. And then I have another crankbait rod that I use, and this is a Browning Silaflex, and it's more of a glass rod, real flimsy in the tip. But this is a 7-foot rod, medium heavy, fast action, but it bends like crazy. And I have a Bass Pro Shops Tourney Special reel, and I think this is only like a 5.5. It's less than 6, I think, gear ratio. Oh, right there it is, 5.6 to 1 gear ratio. And it does really good. And it was actually, I think it was on sale when I bought it, so it was only like 40 or 50 bucks. Good reel. And it's my crankbait rod. Alright, next I have the Abu Garcia Silver Max. And this is a combo that they sell, the Silver Max reel and rod together. 7-foot medium heavy rod. And this is usually what I use for jigs. And jigs are Texas rig. This goes along with my Mach 2. But this is a 6:4 to 1 gear ratio. And this was actually my first bait casting combo that I bought last year when I got really back into fishing. And basically this was the rod that started me collecting rods and reels over the last year and a half. But this also has braid to a fluorocarbon leader, and it's an all-around good combo. I mean, you could probably throw just about anything on this thing and it's going to work good. I'm very happy with the Abu Garcia reels. Haven't really had any problems with them, and they're pretty good. I mean, I don't have any of their expensive reels, but all of their lower end reels seem to do well. Alright, last but certainly not least, this is my other crankbait rod, and I actually throw lipless crankbaits on this mainly. This is my Cabela's crankbait rod. 1 minute while I remove the bug from the camera. This is my Cabela's crankbait rod, like I said. 7'1", medium action. Really good as far as lots of give. I paired that with a Oro winch, a Abu Garcia reel, and this is a 5:3 to 1 gear ratio. And with this rod, with all of the give in the rod, I can really get these lures out. Really get some distance on my casts. And the lower gear ratio allows me to, it's not bring it in as fast, but it allows me to keep a good pace, but keep that lure not in the zone longer for me. I really do like the lower gear ratio reels. Seem to do very well for me. And not saying that a high gear ratio reel wouldn't work, but the lower gear ratio allows me to if I keep a steady pace, it keeps it good. I can also reel faster. So I really rather have like a lower gear ratio reel for a lot of the things I do, where I know I can keep a good pace and I'm not cranking it through the water too fast. But if I need to, I can reel a little bit faster and pick up that line if I need to. So that's all the rods I have in my boat right now. And that's what I normally carry, so about 10 rods normally. And when Matt's in the boat, we're up to sometimes up to 18 rods or so between the two of us. So definitely gets a little packed in here with all of our equipment. But anyways, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for some of more of our videos. We definitely have a lot coming up, so hit that like button. Leave some comments if you want to. We love to get questions, and we'll be sure to answer them. Have a good day, YouTube.